Hi friends, welcome. My name is Caitlin, and today we are going to be making a crocheted beanie. Alright, so here's a finished example of what we're going to be making. Got the brim folded, so mine is about about 11 inches tall. Sorry, I didn't measure it properly. So yours could be anywhere from 9 to 12 inches, depending. I like enough room for my bun, so I make a tall hat, and I like a wide brim. But okay, so I used double crochet in the back loop only to make this fabric. I have a tutorial on that if you'd like to watch that separately. But I will be showing you how to do it here too. And you can also use half double crochet in the back loop only, but you'll have to do more rows, and I'll explain why momentarily. So first we are just going to get set up. Alright, and our supplies. We have a pair of scissors, a needle for sewing the hat together later. We're going to sew the top shut. I got my crochet hook. I got my 5mm H8 hook. That's one of my favorites. You could use a 6mm, you could use a 6.5, you could use a 4. You could use whatever you're comfortable with. I'm using a 5. Okay, we're going to slip knot. So I do the yarn under, stick the hook through, grab that, pull it. And I'm going to chain 52 because I like the chain length of 50 and a stitch count of 50 for my hat. But you could really chain whatever length you want. The chain is the height of the hat. So from the bottom of the brim up to the top of the hat, we're chaining the length. Okay, so now I have 52 chains here. I am going to double crochet in the back ridge of the third chain from my hook. So 1, 2, third chain. And then we're just going to double crochet in every single stitch until the end. And I will meet you back at the end of your row to show you how to start row 2. I forgot to mention, we can also do half double crochet rows if you'd rather. So you would chain 51 or however many you want, however many stitches you want plus 1, and then you would half double crochet in the second chain from the hook. If you would rather do half double crochets rows than double crochet. But you'll have to do more rows because you're gonna the row height is the circumference of the head. So you build as many rows as you need to wrap it around your head. Okay, so I've made my 50 double crochets across my chain, and I'm ready to start the second row. So we're going to chain 2. Now I always do my first stitch in the first stitch. I don't count my chain, my turning chain as a stitch. That's just how I do mine. So if you would like to chain 3 and then double crochet in the second stitch, you go right ahead and do you. But I am going to double crochet in the back loop only of the first stitch. So this is the front loop. We have the front loop and the back loop. We're going to go in the back loop. And then you're just going to continue across for the whole row, and then you're just going to build your rows until you reach the height you need to go all the way around your head. So for my example, I used 36 rows around, and I have a finished rectangle to show you now. Alright, so finished rectangle. What we're gonna do, here's the top. What we're gonna do is fold the piece in half. So you're gonna take the last row you just finished and join it to the very beginning row. We're gonna crochet them together to make like a tube. Okay? So all you're gonna do is chain one. Sorry, friends. Chain one. And then we're just going to single crochet the stitches together. So through both loops of the one stitch, both loops of the other stitch, and just a single crochet. If you want to slip stitch, you can. If you want to sew it, you can. That's fine. I find it easiest to just continue with my single crochet from here. So you just continue from your last row worked after you reach the height you need. You just continue with single crochet. And I'll meet you at the other side. Okay, so we stitched up the two sides together. So now we have a tube. Okay. What we're gonna do is fasten off so you don't lose your work. So just pull the tail all the way through. Leave a long tail for sewing though, because where you're gonna sew one of the top together, we're gonna weave in and out around the top edge around, and then pull it tight, and then cinch it a few times. Okay, so what we did so far to make this hat is chain 52, or however many you want to be the length of the hat, and then double crochet in the third chain from the hook and in every chain across, and then the second row is double crochet in the back loop only to make the ridge. And then the third row and on is just repeating the second row, double crochet in the back loop only all the way across. And then you're going to repeat that for as many rows as you need to wrap around your head comfortably. For my prototype, I did 36 rows. And it's about 22 inches long. Maybe 20 inches. I'm not sure. Somewhere around there. But if you want, you can actually measure it around your head and see if it's good, or use a tape measure if it's for someone else. But that is where we are at. Oh, yes. Okay. So we chained double crocheted back loop only until we get the circumference of our head. Then we are going to join the two ends. So the last row we worked and the first row we worked are going to meet together, and we're going to single crochet, slip stitch, or sew them together. I like the single crochet. That's the easiest for me. Then you're going to fasten off and leave a long tail for sewing. And now I'm going to show you how I sew it together. So I just weave in and out. So you pick a spot and just start weaving in and out of the stitches. I don't think there's any exact science to it. This is how I do it. Go through a couple, then pull my yarn. You could tighten as you go. You don't have to. You could just cinch it all at the very end. But yeah, you just weave your way all the way around the hat until you get back to the beginning. So let's do that, and then I'll show you how I cinch the hole tight. Okay, so I cinched, well, I wove all the way around, and I pulled it tight. Pulled it tight, so now we have a little hole here. So all you do is just sew it together. I just stick my needle through. And just pull tight. And then I go from a couple different directions to try to make sure it's secure. It doesn't have to be precise. Nobody's really seeing this part, and we're going to turn it inside out. This is the inside of the hat. Okay, sometimes I like to tie it to my starting tail, just for a little extra security. You don't have to do that. And then we're just going to weave in the ends, and then our hat is done, guys. So let's pretend we wove in the ends. Let's just play pretend, guys, and let's check out our hat that we made together. Here we go. Very cute. Very cute. Alright, good job, guys. Thanks for watching.